It's October 15th. I was looking at my thumbnail. That's a happy Halloween. Happy Day of the Dead month, Indigenous People month, and also they just kicked the machine on. I don't know why I said Happy Halloween. We have $50 readings. We have $50 readings. Hmm. If you are in need of, how you doing? If you are in need of, I see, they have the new emoji symbol to the side. So I'm waiting on my coffee. Give me just a second. She just brought it out. I don't know what's going on here. A nice little bone necklace. Let's see here. It's a little loud in here, so you may or may not hear people over there, over my mic. Happy Indigenous People Month. I have $50 readings, October 1st through the November 4th. We do celebrate Day of the Dead, and we do. I do celebrate Halloween. It's something that I like because it's very spooky and it's fun, and you can be very creative. We have our ghost reader, EMF or EMS. So our podcasting, live podcasting, between the hours of 3:30 and 5 p.m. It is 4:18. It is 4:18. Make sure you look at the details in the description box below. Make sure you're booking your reading, everything. I have the special on. I am running a Black Friday special. I'm going to be doing $5 readings in the week of Black Friday. $5 reading flash sale. Those are very limited, so I'm going to do $5 readings. And also, I have something special about the Reiki and also our sound therapy. Sound therapy can be used as a tool for hypnosis to calm and relax the body. So I do offer those services as well. They're not listed in the app just yet, but I am going to list them. But the link is in the description box for you all who want the $50 readings. I will have the flash sale. Limited, very limited, so not a lot of people are going to be able to do that one. Black Friday flash sale for a reading. I have something special for those who book the $50 reading in October. So you get a bonus when you book the $50 reading during Indigenous People Month. And I also add you to my prayer working during Day of the Dead, um, which is the last week of this month, first week of November. So let me just get my little coffee life together. I've been I've been digging. I've been digging. I've been digging. You're loud as fuck. I've been really digging black coffee with sugar. I don't know what that's. Of course, it in itself has an urban legend. Those who drink black coffee are connected to the underworld in a special kind of way, or to the spirit realm and spirits a certain way. I make something called a ghost coffee from my ancestors, which is pretty cool. Won't give out the recipe, but I feel like somebody's already trying to steal it. Well, let's get along with today's reading. I promise you, it was no one in here. There was no one in here. We talked about the vampires in Memphis. We talked about several other things already. Vampires in South Memphis. We're going to talk about the spirits. We have literally a graveyard in our backyard. I think it's cool, and we always thought it was kind of cool. And like, oh my God, it's true about how there's an Indian burial ground and a Southern plantation burial ground. Um, Face like Murphy is out here, so be cautious of somebody's look or a dead look. Someone has a dead look or a certain stare. Pet name, you know who. Be cautious of how your pets are staring. I literally saw a cat get possessed. It's some weird shit that these people have released in Memphis. Nothing that we can't deal with and tame. A lot of it has tamed down and tamed out. Next week we're going to talk about the curses of Memphis past, and then we're going to talk about the Day of the Dead festival. So next Sunday is the 22nd, and then the 29th. I didn't do the prayers for the dead. I don't know. I got the description. Prayers for the dead. I'm gonna save that briefly for Day of the Dead festival. Prayers for the dead. Um, I'm gonna try to stream 2 hours long that day. I'm gonna do a double. That's Indigenous Ancestor Week. That's another Ancestor Week, which is the 29th through the 4th. That is Ancestor Week. That is the last week for the $50 tarot reading sale. I still have a Divine High Priestess packages you can actually order. You get free ebook material. You get free. It's a lot of freebies with that one. It's still on sale, $350 until November 1st. It's still on sale, $350 until November 1st. Somebody may have two pets. I felt that one in my side. And that's what's coming up. How you doing? Prayers for the dead. Curse of Memphis Pass. Curse of Memphis Pass. There's been a lot of urban legends and stuff of that nature, but we're gonna talk about spirits of Memphis. One of them being a lot of military from the past, a lot of the slaves coming back, which I've seen, and it was just like, wow. Sometimes you'll see people come out the ground. Sometimes you'll see people, like I said, sitting at a diner across from you, which I've seen. You'll see the angel gates open up, even though they're not spirits, they're actually still living, but just in the astro angelic realms. Lily, we're not too far from me. I'm going to take a picture of these clouds, and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's a heaven gate here. The spirits, especially divine spirits, come in. If you go to downtown Memphis during Christmas time at night, similar to Miracle on 105th Street style, especially when it's ice and there's no one out there, similar to how you go down to New Orleans and certain parts of San Francisco and other different places on the East Coast, and how it's you'll see the spirits just gently walk. You'll see people, especially if, let's say they got hit by a car or for some reason they died just walking down the street. You'll see spirits walking down the street at a certain hour of the night. especially on a Sunday night or Friday night, Saturday night, on a weekend. If you go to downtown Memphis, if you go back over on what is that? Is that Front Street or Riverside? Main Street, pretty much anywhere downtown. There's the little back streets where the alleys and stuff connect. If you're walking by, because I used to work downtown, if you're walking by yourself, and it's not scary, but people in Memphis like, ooh, like literally, when we moved to Whitehaven, it'll fog, so you'll start seeing spirits and stuff down on Beale Street. You'll start seeing a lot of the old souls come back during the fall season. Now, you may not see them year round or throughout the whole year, but towards this time of year in the holiday season, and maybe from Easter or something like that, it has to be something significant. Of course, Juneteenth, you'll start seeing certain spirits, and also just different side. Then it'll stop, and then you go back to your regular rotation of everything. But the spirits of Memphis, you'll see. Was it is it AC Mr. Handy? You'll see Mr. Handy. You'll hear the trumpet, him blowing his trumpet. You'll hear certain guitarists, people who are musicians. There used to be a man that used to play. I was in middle school when this happened, and we moved from South Memphis to Whitehaven. But Whitehaven just the other part of South Memphis, closer to Mississippi. And I remember hearing someone playing the horn and things like that. I remember the horns playing. And I said, who would be playing a horn at 3 a.m? Not knowing at the time, we call it the creepy hour, which is 3 a.m. I said, and I would hear it. And I would see shadows and all that type of stuff. And shadows of little beings and things of that nature and critlins. And seeing a lot of other different things as well. But you'll see he said, hey, see Handy. Oh, I used to love his statue. There's a rumor that you'll see him actually come out of the statues or see the spirits come out of that statues to get to Memphis or to cross from the spirit realm to here. And I know a lot of those statues have been moved and repurposed and redone. Handy Part was a Handy Part. Up Before Noon in blue black. I'm gonna translate the cards in just a minute. Be cautious of the spells that you throw. The spirits may throw them back. I need you to understand that. The spirits here are real cool. Some are a little aggressive sometimes, but a lot of them are real cool. But they're more so closer by the river. It's a whole nother difference. I need to go down there at night one time. One of these days, especially on maybe a summer night closer to fall, like August, like late July, maybe August. But around Juneteenth, you'll start seeing certain ancestors pop up for Juneteenth celebration. Also, we have different ancestors. Here is not just African American ancestors and Caribbean. We have ties to, of course, Atlantis and Egypt and several other places as well. But spirits of Memphis, Mr. Handy, you'll see him. I forgot almost. There's a lot of urban legends since I was a little girl. There's a lot of urban legends down here in Memphis. Like the woman that was thrown on the railroad tracks in South Memphis over on Olive and I think that was Olive and Trigg, or the park that's like on Olive Street down in South Memphis. We live not too far. We live like 3 minutes from that place. And I remember being a little girl playing in the park. You know, you can is there's an opening. We used to play where the swings and stuff. And the basketball court was here, and it's all this big open park, right? Because it goes in a big loop as far as the streetway. And when I tell you, there's an opening. I remember being a little girl seeing her stockings. Her stockings looked like they were from the 19 like 80s, the 80s or whatever. Um, that is like one of those cases here in Memphis. They actually just solved her murder, and it's tied to some of this other stuff, weird stuff in Memphis. And excuse me. Mm-mm. I can hear these people. Why didn't put any earrings on? How dare me? How dare me? But there, the woman, she was a prostitute. She got into a fight with her boyfriend or whatever the case may be. Fox 13. My grandmother watched News Channel through Fox 13. I think it was Fox 13 back then. That I remember that story. How they were gonna reopen her case. We were sitting at home. I think I was in middle school, and they were gonna reopen her case um and solve it. And they threw her on a train track when the train was coming, or they killed her and threw the body. Well, her spirit would walk up and down the railroad track. And I remember being a little girl, our apartments weren't too far from, like, I mean, 3 minutes from the park. It's right next to the park. And I just remember always stepping out into the yard and looking towards the opening, because you step out into the street from the apartments and you just look and you can see the opening. It's like I would always sense and feel her energy, and almost down there hear her screams and stuff. That's one reason how I knew. Oh wow, I think our family kind of special. My mom never would go to that park. She never would unless she was coming to get us. Back then, like I said, this was the early 90s, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. It was, I think, the summertime. I would always, when we play in the park, I know some of our hood community people, children, to take a shortcut somewhere. And I never would go down in it. I wasn't allowed to. My brother, thank God, because you can't, once you go down, you really can't get up unless you're good at climbing. And I was a fat kid, so you know how that worked. And I always wonder what actually happened. It was like I almost could see it, but I can sense her energy, like when she's there, when she returned. These concerned people need to get off this airway. We're going to actually, and I told you not to bother my family or bother anybody's home and property. Wow, there's an angelic gate opening. Wow. I don't know how to explain it, but it's weird. Somebody's casting a weird spell. It was raining in the backyard. In the front yard, it was like sunshine and no rain and nothing. Like, it's weird, but that's a high priestess life for you. But the spirits of Memphis, you'll see some going to the shops and cafes. You'll see a lot of the insect. I mean, we talking old spirits come in. You hear the spirits of Atlantean beings, and it's a very magical place. Very magical place. We have our love and hate over time, but it's gotten to me. It's gotten better. Well. I'm not switching no Lower Harbor, honey. I don't know what that was about, but anywho, beautiful spirits. A lot of spirits from the 1800s. Of course, the not the civil rights, but the Underground Railroad and a lot of the civil rights era based things before Jim Crow law and several other different things. Actually, mm-mm, mm-mm. The stubborn southern accent, 10 forward windows. God, let this EMF work. Tina, something about Tina. But they threw her on the track and the train ran over her. And it was one of the most famous unsolved crimes other than Lorenzen Wright's his murder, which of course got we have justice for his family in the city, which is tied to this mess. Um, but I always wonder to this day, they left her pantyhose. So her pantyhose is actually down in the actual railroad track. And I always wonder if they clean up the body and stuff like that. Why come they left the pantyhose? Anywho, we're not selling souls or conjuring souls here, honey. But but man, I always wonder as a little girl, it frightened me a little bit. And you can sense when the spirits are there simply because simply because it's either heavy, just very heavy energy with nobody there, or I normally see the shadow of them or the apparition. Now apparitions are a little different. They're a little different to deal with. Um, if you're comfortable with spirits and you're like me and you like that type of dimension when dealing with them, I don't care. They can appear to me or not appear. I've seen both. I even seen the man, what was it? I mean, I worked at hotels, so I seen some of everything. The doors open and close. I like when they come in the dress clothes. Sometimes they'll come the way that they die, and then when they cross over and come back, they'll come the way that they were buried. And that's how sometimes that's how I like to kind of see them. And I worked at the Peabody for almost 2 years. I worked at the Sheraton for about a year, almost for about a year, almost a year. I think it was 11 months or 11 and a half months. Um, and I just really enjoyed. That's one reason why I don't mind working at a hotel or visiting a hotel. But it's there's spiritual rules when staying at a hotel, and I gotta check what room number we were in. We took a trip this year in May, and that room, other than them trying to hack the server and shit like that, um, sings the chorus in dire fashion blunder. Um, I don't remember the hotel room number. I think we had 7. So the hotel room number actually matters. The type of bedding and the way the beds are faced. And even if they're facing a mirror or a window or something, you should, have that precaution up. But you have to be cautious because you can't hang certain things up and stuff. But you know what you can and can't do. Sometimes they allow candles, but some of them, personally, I will get a smoking room so I can burn sage, incense, and some herbs. That'll be just something I would do. And we're gonna talk about. We're gonna put that on our list. Let me not lie. Let me not lie. Traveling, because we're gonna do prayers of the dead, and I'm gonna teach you how to pack a travel altar, spiritual hotel etiquettes. I don't know why these certain people trying to reach out to my family, and I told you I don't even like y'all talking about my family, let alone lying. They're blocking my airways. But the spirits in here in Memphis, I mean, some of everything, some of the native, some you see the animal spirits, which a lot of people don't talk about the spirit animals, other than a lot of people who live out in maybe the grassy, desert, Arizona, Las Vegas, Nevada, maybe even a certain part of Utah, California, that kind of stuff. But cold. Be cautious of colds, especially during the fall and the winter. But colds, spirits love being around colds. Colds, colds kind of remind them of graveyards because the way it circles. That's why it's graveyard circles. I thought about going to a graveyard just to have that. I don't like funerals because I can feel the spirits in the ground, the bodies in the ground. And it used to scare me as a little girl, and it was just creepy going to a graveyard or whatever. Even though I kind of like eerily liked it, but didn't like it. That's just a spiritual person in me. But it was so sad because like they're dead, and I think I was just too empathic as a child, and it was just sad. I don't do a lot of funerals. I love weddings. I really don't like funerals like that because it's a little too spiritually overwhelming with depending on the person and how they pass. Funeral homes, because this is like a harbor. We literally have a funeral home right across the street from me. Its energy is getting better, so the spirits are crossing over more, and I think that was the problem. Like if there's a blockage or something. Um, um, I kind of promised myself I would cut back on going to funerals, just depending on what it is, especially out of town funerals and stuff like that. Unless of course, it's mandatory. Certain people, like if your grandmother passed, grandfather passed, of course you're going just to that, thing. It's a little too overwhelming. So we're gonna actually talk about uh, funeral etiquette because you're not supposed to actually go straight home after a funeral because you're taking the spirits and the energy there, if that makes sense. But to get back here in Memphis, we have a lot of funeral homes. There's one here. There's one maybe one and a half, 2 miles up the road this way, not too far from me. Then there's another one back here, and then there's another one, maybe 20 to 35, 40 minutes that way. And I forgot about that one. That's our veteran cemetery. Then there's another one. Um, it's a little bit. I couldn't even go to my uncle's funeral. And it was a little bit too much. And it's just the spirits were like, yeah, you have to sit this one out. I think that would have been too much. But the word warrior is here. All right, let's get back to our reading. We're 30 minutes in, but it's a beautiful experience here. If you can come to, of course, we talked about Voodoo Village here in Memphis. The certain road that you go down in Memphis, of course, your car is going to cut off. I heard it's the Bermuda Triangle, Egyptian Caribbean effect or whatever. It's like it's spooky, but it's like really cool. Um, it's like an effect that happened. It's just an urban legend. Mm-mm. Ain't nobody can sell some souls, honey. Alrighty, we are playing Gothier Than Down. This is one of my favorite emo decks. I hate the fact that they use the word Hecate in this bad boy, but I'm gonna buy a backup deck of this. I can't find these. These are only at the comic conventions here in Memphis that you find a little knickknacks like this. Of course, now we have Amazon and stuff. But face like Murphy, maybe somebody has two pets. Someone has a certain type of piercing, and I see the word sexual sensual. Wardrobe sale up before noon. Tinfoil on the windows. Disturbing southern accent. Wardrobe sale, singing the chorus into me, and a dire fashion blunder in blue black. Be cautious of what you're wearing. Home protection is needed. Hit that sigilling. Of course, we just had the eclipse, ring of fire. Big Ten Ankh. I keep mine with me at all time like a badge. My Ankh and bones. Big Ten Ankh and a visit from mom, and she's carrying something. Someone needs to present a picture. Someone needs to visit their mom, or we'll be getting. Someone needs to visit their mom. Protection, take her an uncle, some form of protection. And you see how they have a Big Ten Ankh, and then they have a plant. You need to have like a common everyday protection, like a bundle of lavender flowers or certain type of thing, like was it take her like a jar of camphor or some shit, like something like that. EMF. Pay attention to what you're wearing. Protective clothing, deep news post. Maybe you're seeing something online, or someone's mom is seeing something online, and they're coming to visit. Blue black, the power of blue black. Let's see what that actually means. What does that mean? What does that mean? You can always check out today's live stream over on YouTube podcast playlist. The Goddess Complex LLC. YouTube.com/The Goddess Complex LLC. Check out our podcast over on YouTube or podcast playlist for today's reading or Carson Coffee live show. I've been trying to keep up with them, and I'm going to go actually go back and backdate them. We're going to return to our Instagram either later this year or early next year with our broadcasting. Of course, I'm having issues with Instagram, so I'm keeping that Instagram very professional. Um, If you hadn't seen today's ad and promo, I do have graphic service design. Please check the last video over here on YouTube, and also Facebook as well. Let's see the meaning. Color. Let's see blue, black. Of course, we know black means this, blue means healing, and other different things, but also double as protection.